There are mounting fears that Israeli strikes against Iran may lead to further tension escalating in the region, especially amid ongoing conflicts in the Gaza Strip and Lebanon. Experts warning that it could turn the Middle East into a, quote, uncontrollable fireball. Strong explosions were heard in the Iranian capital in the early hours of Saturday, as Israel confirmed that it had launched precise strikes on military targets in Iran in response to months of continuous attacks from the country.
We know that they have avoided hitting Iranian nuclear facilities and oil refinery, which was a big question. I know the United States has been discouraging that kind of attack, fearing a major escalation. So this has been a calibrated attack.
Israel's attack on Saturday killed at least 4 soldiers in the country. The country's PM saying the attack was precise and powerful and achieved all of its objectives.
But unlike the Iranians, we targeted military infrastructure, not civilian targets, and our missiles are much more accurate, highly precise. That's why it was a very successful attack, and we sent a very clear message to the Iranian regime. You know, we have no desire to have a conflict with the Iranian regime, but if they will target Israel, we will be there.
中方反对侵犯别国主权安全。
It prompted leaders around the world to speak out. China's foreign ministry saying it indicates the urgency for a ceasefire, while the Kremlin says Russia was doing everything it could to try to facilitate attempts to de-escalate tensions in the Middle East. U.S. President Joe Biden hoping this is the end to the conflict.
I was on with the intelligence community for the last half hour. It looks like they didn't hit anything other than military targets. My hope is this is the end.
But Iran says it reserves the right to respond to the Israeli attack at the appropriate time, but it's unclear how they'll retaliate.
It really remains to be seen how the authorities in Iran feel about the extent of the damage and whether they feel the need and the urgency to respond yet again with another round of missiles towards Israel. I suspect that the Iranian authorities would refrain from doing so because it's really not in their interest to go down the path of escalation.
Some leaders urging Iran not to respond.
That we need to avoid further regional escalation and urge all sides to show restraint. Iran should not respond.
Today, Netanyahu said he hoped to reach peace deals with more Arab countries once the war against Iranian proxies, Hamas and Hezbollah, is complete. Meanwhile, in Doha, talks to reach a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip resumed this weekend, though with little expectation of significant progress. Representatives from Qatar, Egypt, the United States, and Israel participated in the talks, while Hamas did not send any representative. Today, Israeli parliament passed law to ban UN relief agency UNRWA from operating inside the country. Officials in the U.S. have already voiced concerns when the legislation was proposed.
Passage of this legislation could have implications under U.S. law and U.S. policy. That remains the case. Look, UNRWA plays a critical, important role in delivering humanitarian assistance to civilians that need it in Gaza.